So we've had the LED wall in the studio for a while now, and it's been a revelation. We've been shooting everything from scene replacements to podcasts to pieces to camera. But one of the things we're always trying to demonstrate to clients is the ability to extend production values and bring shots that were seemingly impossible within reach. And a while ago, we had the idea to shoot a Top Gun scene on the wall, because what better way to demonstrate production value than to emulate one of the highest grossing films of all time, Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was produced on a budget of $177 million and put crews and the actors in real F-18s with an array of cameras to capture realistic performances, lighting, and the effects of G-force. The gamble worked, and Top Gun Maverick became the highest grossing film of Cruise's career, topping $1.5 billion globally. The film was still incredibly expensive to make, with time in an F-18 costing the studio a whopping $11,000 per hour. At that price, only a studio with an actor like Tom Cruise or Brad Pitt on board could afford the hefty price tag to create such a spectacle. But what if we could do it for just $11 an hour? Just the price of electricity, an LED wall, and some simple DIY set building. And so, the Cheap Gun Challenge was born. Could I grab you guys for a minute? We're going to recreate the trench run scene from Top Gun Maverick. On the LED wall. To prove what you can do on the wall. And we're going to do it for $1,000. So if we break it down, it's not that difficult. We've got a cockpit that we need to build. All this stuff here, pretty basic stuff. Flight suit, you can get that online for $80. This is just a washing machine hose. I've got one of these on my washing machine. You got to get a little bit of detail in here, but you can't see a lot in there. Any questions? Anytime you introduce an ambitious idea around the studio, it's always met with a degree of skepticism.
How are we supposed to match the lighting?
This is a camera in the cockpit capturing real lighting. You're correct. But that's the challenge. That's what we're going to do here. We're going to reverse engineer this lighting in this space. We're gonna make this look good. We're gonna show people what they can do. The challenge is simple. Recreate the famous trench run scene where Tom Cruise completes the trench run in under 2 minutes and 15 seconds, but do it against the LED wall and do it for under $1,000. The first thing we were gonna need was a cockpit. We had some old pallets laying around that we were able to use for a base. I had an old weights bench at home that was perfect as the pilot seat, and given you never really see this, it wasn't worth spending any cash on. The idea is to build a small movable set that will mimic the cockpit of an F-18 and then use a gaming engine to project all the wings and location behind that. We're going to build a giant curved perspex canopy that will bend and distort all of that light entering the lens, giving us realistic reflections of the environment. We found a helmet online that looked similar to a flight helmet and a dust mask for $12. Really, when you break down Tom Cruise's outfit in this, it's pretty basic. That is a washing machine hose. A couple of USB cables here, you stick them on, paint it all black. No one can tell the difference. So we've just finished our cockpit. It's here, it's in the studio. The key thing in this whole setup is this big piece of perspex over the top. This is the top of our aircraft canopy. It's what's gonna bend and distort all of the light coming through the LED wall and into the camera, and add that extra layer of realism. On the inside for the control panels, we couldn't afford to 3D print proper control panels, so we just printed some sheets of paper and stuck some buttons on. They're stuck on there really well. We got a keyboard in here so we can control everything once we're actually in there. The Logitech X56 flight controller, which is the one thing that we actually spent some money on because there's a lot of close-up shots of this stick. We need to be able to take close-ups of us moving it around and pressing the drop bombs button, whichever button that is. We've got the MFDs in here, which are real as well because we do need some macro shots of those. Now we have to make sure that we have something on the LED wall to project behind it. Firing up the thrusters. Oh my god. To create the jet sequences and the backplates for the LED wall, we used a software called DCS World. DCS is a realistic combat flight simulator that has incredible graphics and some phenomenal in-game camera controls that allow you to get some super cinematic shots of your flights. They also encourage users to create cinematics for YouTube to help promote the game. DCS was perfect for us as it allowed us to plan and fly a mission exactly like the trench run from Top Gun, and then capture that run from every angle to create the plate shots we needed to project on the wall. This meant that we could film the same run or track file, as it's called in DCS, and then recreate the exact same track from the reverse angle, giving us seamless cutting points and realistic transitions. Once we had all our plate shots, it was time to suit up and start the real problem-solving phase of this mission, cinematography. We spent many hours testing lighting options, low angle sunset shots with warm light pouring into the cockpit, front side projectors for realistic reflections, large source soft lighting. It was a process of trial and error, and there were plenty of setbacks along the way. Color grading the clips before they were projected onto the wall, 14mm lenses, 20mm lenses, 24mm, 50mm. Anything to match that perspective just perfectly. We tried it all and experimented with everything. You get to these moments where you have setbacks and you think, have I just built a giant pile of scrap wood and none of this is going to work? And now we have clients that are asking for things. And we've got a studio full of Top Gun junk. Well, it's hard to rationalize doing this, but you know, when you have the initial vision for this stuff, you think about all the cool stuff, like how cool would it be to create that shot from Top Gun? You don't think about all the stuff that you have to do, all of the things you have to solve along the way to actually make it work. The whole time, you don't really know if it is going to work. But you don't know if you don't try.
Team, listen up. We're canceling this silly Top Gun business. It's time to get back to video production. What's really important, the money, the profit. Did you shave? What the hell is that?
Here I go. Hope you guys are recording.
Chuck, we got the GM down here. He's not happy about any of this. Says you need to get back on that client work ASAP.
Well, I'm going anyway. Thanks, budget.
$1,000.
You can tell the GM I didn't catch his memo.
Back to work.
So how did we go? Well, we didn't quite make Top Gun. Placing cameras inside real F-18s still gets the nod for realism. But the LED wall proved itself to be a valuable production tool. This whole briefing room scene we shot in a half day off minimal prep, just throwing up some graphics on the big screen to mimic that Top Gun shot, and then we found a quick hangar style background for the reverse shot, and the results were fantastic. As for the plane scenes, although we didn't quite achieve Top Gun status, this whole process was incredibly exciting. Seeing those reflections in the canopy and the way the light passed through the visors without any green screen was like having a whole new toy to play with. And we can see this approach of placing transparent elements between the camera and the LED wall being a winning strategy for so many use cases. If anything, just completing this project gave us an incredible respect for the production team of Top Gun Maverick. We had difficulty just flying this sequence in a simulator, and there's a pilot out there who flew this for real in the film. Thanks for watching, see you next time.